So I've been working on a hacking demo kit that I can take to conferences and sort of demonstrate various kinds of attacks, how they get around certain security tools and all that. So it relies on me being able to actually have a dummy infrastructure in place. You might have seen a couple of videos where I've been showing the process, but I wanted to do this video to actually show what the hell it is I'm actually doing in a bit more detail on why I'm doing it. So at the core of it is this. It's a Zim board. It's a little single board computer, a bit like a Raspberry Pi, but it is built as a single board server. It's got a lot of nice functionality and it has dual Ethernet ports, a couple of USB ports. It also has SATA connectors on the back of it and a PCIe. It can also do virtualization straight out of the box, particularly with Proxmox is what I'm using at the minute. And so far on it, I have got a web server and Snort. It's an intrusion detection system. So this is the Zima board in Proxmox itself, and so you can see I've got the two VMs there, and here are the specs of it if anyone is interested. And at the minute I have the Snort set up that it is picking up all of the traffic that's happening on the network, which also consists of a firewall and a managed switch. And it's alerting if anything goes to the web server. So any traffic at all to the web server, that's what it's set up at the minute, is that Snort will alert. Now I then also have this tied into a SOAR tool, a security automation orchestration and response, which is what I do in my day job. And I wanted to do that as well to show the sort of automation side. So I want to be able to show the whole thing from detecting an incident to responding to it. In this case, what it's going to be doing is sending me a text message or an email once a response is picked up. So in order to tie into Tines, I am using Python. What I'm doing is I'm getting Python to start the Snort process, and then for line by line, anything that comes in, it's then sending the alert to Tines. And this is what it looks like in Tines. This is very basic. This is just the input of the information. But you can see that whenever it calls to this webhook, which is just an HTTP request in Python, we can see here that we get the body through, and we can see here that this is the alert. So why am I building this and what's the purpose? Well, I wanted to be able to show, as I said, various different kinds of attacks and how we can get around defenses, how defenders can find that, how they get around that, etc. and so forth. But I also want to put specifically vulnerable VMs in here that are vulnerable to common things like Eternal Blue or Log4j or something like that, but have vulnerable systems in there and have it a bit like a CTF, so attackers, people at conferences can try and hack it. But I have the other defenses in place. I have defense in depth actually happening and they can see it. And in that way, whenever they're attacking a system that they could probably pwn any other day of the week, they're now fighting active defenses so they can see a bit more clearly what that's like.